Welcome to the new version of Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast, the podcast for real estate agents everywhere. I'm Lisa B, and together with Bjorn Kunzel, we're going to talk about everything real estate. We talk about what's working, what's not working, what's new, what's old, technology, and anything else to do with real estate. We'll answer your questions from the Facebook group Let's Talk About Real Estate. So if you have a question, we can help. Join the Facebook group today. And again, welcome to the show. Okay, welcome back, Bjorn Kunzel. Thank you for joining me again to Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast. And we have a very interesting topic today. I think it's kind of like an unpopular opinion. What do you think?
I think it's going to be one that will push a few people's buttons, and the buttons that it will push are the people that are actually doing the wrong thing. And there'll be a whole heap of agents out there which will go, you know what? Good for bringing it up. Good for talking about it and discussing it, because that happens far too often, and we need to cut it out of the industry.
Okay, so you tell me what's happening out there at the moment. Oh, and it's been happening forever, but you know, it's like, tell me this situation, and it just makes my blood boil. Okay, go.
There's obviously a shortage of stock on the market. Everybody knows that properties are selling. Yes, days on market may have slightly extended out over the Christmas period, but obviously stock's selling, but it's difficult to get stock. So there's two types of agents out there. There's agents that are carrying a lot of stock, and I am grateful that I'm in that category. And there's agents that have no stock. Now, there's one thing that a lot of agents do when they don't have any stock, and rather than getting proactive and actually doing dollar productive activities, they start to get negative, and they start to go behind the sign and try to poach other people's listings or sabotage other people's listings.
Sign jumpers.
Sign jumpers.
I can't stand. To me, it's lazy. It's like it's waiting for another agent to do all the work. An agent that's been talking to someone for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, they've done all the work. And then this, this guy comes along, girl comes along and thinks, oh, this is brilliant. I've got a brilliant idea. I'll sign jump the agent. I'll go behind the signboard. How is it smart? How is it intelligent? How are you a good agent? I'm sorry, but if you can't find listings, like seriously, anyway, go, sorry. It's something that...
No, look, I agree. I had a situation that made me think of this topic to bring it up, where an agent from one of the largest franchises in Australia lost the listing to me in Ingle Farm. And basically, we did an open inspection of that property last night. And I told the vendors, I said, you've got a 2-bedroom house, which is very small. It's only 95 square meters. It's a 2-bedroom home. And you've got a sleep out at the back, which is more of a rumpus room. So really, we're selling a 2-bedroom home here on a 736 square meter property with a tree on the property that needs to be removed prior to any development. Now, development potential sites around there are selling for around about the 650 mark, and 2-bedroom homes are selling for, in the fives. Now, I've got offers around the mid-sixes. The vendors told me after the open inspection, they said, Bjorn, guess what? We just had a phone call from... And I said, okay, what happened? And they're like, well, he basically rang us up and said, oh, what have you done? Why did you sign up with Bjorn? I don't get along with Bjorn. We've had a blue in the past. Started talking about all this nonsense and all this rubbish. Started mentioning about the auction next door and how I was at the auction next door, which I wasn't. Just started fabricating a whole heap of stuff. And then basically said to them, oh, look, so you've got offers. Sorry, you've got offers coming in the sevens, around that 720 mark, do you? And they were like, no, we've got offers around the mid-sixes. Oh, I can get you 720, but you have to take it to auction. Now, I turned around to them and I said to them, look, there's a reason why he's saying you have to take it to auction and why he's saying the 720. One, he wants to sabotage our sale, and he wants to get you guys to feel discredited or, untrusting of myself. And I said, and the reason he's saying to take it to auction is because I would say to you guys, if he calls you again, say to him, fantastic. If you've got buyers at 720, call Bjorn and Mike, who I've conjuncted with, and bring their buyers through, and they'll happily give you 50% of their commission, which we'll happily do. Yeah. Now, the reason why he's saying auction is because obviously he doesn't want that scenario to happen. He doesn't have any buyers. He knows that he can't get that price for that. So what he's tried to do then is sabotage my sale. Now, luckily, my clients and I have a very good relationship. There's not many people that can take a client away from me. They're a referral. I've sold for their family members. Their family trusts me, and they said, Bjorn, we trust you. If 650 is what it is. If 7's out there, you'll get it. But I just thought to myself, what a low act. What an act of desperation. And it didn't do him any justice, because the vendors said to me, look, we don't believe what he said anyway, but all that he's done, Bjorn, is completely bring their brand into disrepute.
Yeah.
Now we don't trust that brand at all because that's a snaky, dodgy tactic. We
Yeah.
understand because we're not silly that he was trying to discredit you, which is obviously a very immoral act.
Mm,
And the way that he went about things, we don't feel was fair. Now, had the property not been listed
mm.
and he called them for a follow-up and they said, oh, we're about to sign with Bjorn, that's a completely different conversation. He's allowed to say all that stuff then and go for it, right? Do whatever you want to do because anything goes, it's up for grabs, it's not listed. But once a property is actually listed, it's a very easy way for an agent to lose their reputation and discredit themselves when they're trying to discredit another agent. So agents out there, don't do it. Don't do it.
To me, I think you do to other agents what you want done to you. And if you're going to do things like that, then it's open slather for somebody to do that to you as well. And you don't want that. You know, you want it to be, okay, you have a respectful relationship with other agents. You don't do those things to other agents. You don't do that to the vendor either. You know, those phone calls just leave a dirty taste in everybody's mouth, you know, a horrible taste, because that's why real estate agents have a bad reputation.
Yeah.
You know, and some agents will say, look, I don't care because, you know, like you said, I've got a great relationship with my vendor and all that sort of stuff. But if you're harassing somebody else's vendor, you know, it doesn't matter what sort of relationship you've got with them. They still might be going, oh, but what if it's true? What if we could? You know, there's always that what if.
Yeah.
You know, don't do that to a vendor. Don't do it to another agent. I just think it's a low act, like you said. And that just means that in this market, you have to send the landmine. You have to, you know, prepare for the landmine. So you have to sort of go, okay, you know, unfortunately, when you list a property, unfortunately, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, some agents will probably knock on the door. That happens to me all the time, and they'll try and steer you away from me. They'll say that they've got buyers. They'll say that they can get you a high price. Here's my card. Please leave it on the fridge. If they do knock on the door, give them my card and tell them I'll happily conjunct 50%. You know, because this is what's going to happen. You've got to set that up. So then when that guy knocks on the door, or that girl knocks on the door, they're expecting it. Yeah, Bjorn said that you were going to come. Here's their card and they will conjunct 50%. You know, otherwise, if they're expecting it, then it's not like, oh, maybe it is true. Then they know. You know, they know that there's agents out there that are trying to steal the vendors away because they can't find listings themselves.
Now, I understand, Lisa, everybody gets down and out. Sometimes they might have stuff going on in their personal lives. You know, there could be, I don't know, a death in the family or finances are tight or they're going through a separation or whatever. Sometimes when you're not in the right headspace, you do crazy, silly things, okay? So I can always forgive people. But what I want to teach agents is there's another way to go about it. Excuse me. Now, I've had this happen to me myself where I've lost a listing before. And I rang the vendors up and I said this because I was just ringing the check up and I didn't know because it wasn't advertised at that time. So I didn't know that I'd lost the listing. And I rang up, hey guys, just checking in to see how things are going and when you're ready to get started. Actually, Bjorn, we've actually signed last night with another company. Won't say the name, but we really appreciate everything you've done. Okay, fantastic. Was that? And I mentioned the agent's name and they said, yes, it was. I said, well, you're in great hands. They're a fantastic agent. They're a good organization. You've got nothing to worry about. They're absolutely fantastic. I'll still help you with your purchasing journey if you need me, but you please understand I'm not going to call you. I'll send you through the emails or maybe SMS you about opportunities to buy, but I'm not going to call you like I have been because out of respect for the other agent, you're now with them and you're their client. So please understand I'm not trying to ghost you, but I don't want to do the wrong thing by the other agent, but I wish you all the best. You're in great hands. And if it doesn't work out, I'm always here for you.
Come back. Exactly.
Now, guess what happened in that scenario?
Yeah.
It didn't work out. They went to auction. And I've got a video testimony of this on my Bjorn Kunzel Real Estate YouTube channel. You can actually listen to this. And the vendors basically rang up and they said, hi, Bjorn, it's been 4 months and we've terminated the agency. We had an auction, went pear-shaped, didn't work out, couldn't get the results. We gave them an extra couple of weeks after auction, didn't work out. They started changing stories and whatnot. So now we want to come on board with you. What do we do? And I said, well, you just need to terminate that agency and then I can come and help you.
Yeah.
I helped them with an expressions of interest campaign and we got the house sold within 3 weeks by advertising no price. And they gave me a wonderful testimonial. And the testimonial said, we listed with another agent and Bjorn was very kind and very respectful to that agent when he lost the listing, which is why we came back to Bjorn when it didn't work out and got Bjorn to sell the house for us because the other agents that we told missed out started saying to us,
got angry or whatever. So many
got angry.
You know,
Why did you choose them? I couldn't get you more. You know, they're only a rookie. They haven't been in the game for a long time. Agents out there, if you want a long, successful career, I've been doing this for 16 years. Yes, I'm not the number one agent in the world. Yes, I'm not $1 million writer, right? But that's out of choice because I don't need to be, because this mob here, I don't need to write $1 million to earn $500,000, right? So I choose to do what I do, but stay in your lane. And if you lose a listing to somebody else, wish them well.
Nice.
Well,
Be respectful. Exactly.
don't be disrespectful and don't call them up, and don't plant other prices. The lowest thing, and Tom Panos talks about this as well, the lowest thing you can do when you lose a listing is to ring them up and say, oh, what are they putting it on the market for? Oh, 1 to 1.1. That's easily worth 1.2. If you sell for less than 1.2, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Just make sure they get you 1.2 at least. Now, all you're trying to do then is discredit the other agent. You're going to ruin it for the other agent.
And
You
for
know,
the-
we're all in this industry together, guys. You
Yeah.
know, do the
And-
right thing.
or if you're telling them a price, an unrealistic price, you're going to wreck it for them as well. So no.
Yeah.
So I've got my course, the Real Estate Club, and in that gazillions of ways to get listings. So if you don't know how to get listings, then definitely have a look at the Real Estate Club, because there's like 50 ways that you can get listings in there.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to go behind somebody's signboard. Like for me, when I was listing and selling, if the signboard was still up, I never approached the seller. If the sign went down, I did, you know. If the sign's up, they're still happy with that agent. If the sign comes down, they've either sold it, they're going to change agents, or they're not happy or whatever. To me, if the sign's up, I don't do, you know, sort of diarize, you know, however many days that the agreement's going to run out. I don't do that. To me, if you meet somebody in an open house and they've got the property for sale, again, like you would do exactly the same thing. You know, they come into your open house and they've got it with somebody else, and do exactly what you said. Absolutely. You know, say to them, you help them with their buying and all that sort of thing, and keep in contact with them. And that's okay. But you know, to go there when there's a signboard up, I think it's, you know, to me, it just lacks integrity. That's me.
And sometimes it can happen by phone call. Sometimes it can happen by letters posted out to the vendor. Hey, look, I noticed that you're on the market with XYZ Real Estate. You know, and if it doesn't work out in 90 days, please call us. Da, da, da. Look, if I lose a listing, I say to them, you're in great hands. I wish you all the best. If it doesn't work out, I'm always here for you. No hard feelings. I'll always help you. So if it doesn't work out, feel free to contact me back. I don't even ring those clients after 100 days with the other agent. I just let it go. And if the client contacts me, fantastic, right? If they don't, that's fine too, you know. But my reputation, I've been a solid, reputable agent in the area that I work for 16 years. 93% of my business is referral based. I'm selling 70, 80 homes a year without even having to prospect. And that's for a very good reason, because I do everything I do with ethics and morals and values.
Exactly.
Very important.
It's you treat other agents, like I said, the way that you want to be treated. And if you're going to do that, then expect every other agent to do that to you as well. All right. So I think this is going to be unpopular opinion, because I know there's so many agents that do this, and there's so many trainers that promote this as well. But that's not something that I've ever promoted. There's so many other ways that you can get listings, and you don't need to do this. You don't need to show that you don't know how to get listings and create business for yourself and steal it from somebody else. So I'll be interested to see what other people think. So any other agents that are listening to this, in the comments, please let us know what you think. If you think agents should be allowed to do it, or if they shouldn't be allowed to do it, if you think it's unethical or you think it's highly ethical, give us your opinion. All right. Thanks so much.
Be interesting to see what the other agents think there. But mate, I run my business on being ethical and values. If it doesn't feel right in here and something tells me, should you be doing this? The answer is no, you shouldn't be doing it. Simple as that.
I agree. All right. Thank you. Let's see what everyone thinks. All right.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have a question about real estate, then please join the group on Facebook, also called Let's Talk About Real Estate. For those of you who are interested in EXP, please join us at 10 a.m. Brisbane time every Wednesday morning for EXP Explained. Thank you again for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, and see you next week.